Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael. Today I want to talk to you about doubling your instruments. So we'll go through my third act of a song that I used last week. Forgive me for using it again, but I think it'll help illuminate my point that I'm trying to get across to you here. So let's listen up and... Okay, so there's a lot going on there, but basically just by looking at the MIDI here, you can see that I've taken a lot of the same tracks and doubled them. What I mean by doubled is it's the same thing, or it's almost the exact same thing played twice. So why am I doing that? Like I said, we want that wall of sound. That's a term used in when people are talking about trailers all the time. You want a wall of sound. You want it to sound thick. You want it to sound big. You want it to sound like a monster of a song coming through. So what we can do is we can literally just take one of our kind of like rhythms or our French horns or something and just apply it, duplicate it, and just apply it to multiple instruments over and over again. So just by looking at my MIDI files here, you can see from the Tom Barrage all the way down to the Bomber Ensemble, these are the same MIDI notes. So let's just highlight them here, and I'm gonna play them. So right away you can hear they're playing the same thing. So I took the one like say I took the Tom Barrage and then I applied it to multiple instruments to get this thicker sound. So if I remove those, let's just mute these and just listen to the percussion on its own. You'll be able to hear like, wow, it makes a big difference by just having the same thing played on multiple different patches. Still sounds fine, but I'm going to gradually bring back the other instruments back in so that you can hear how much thicker it gets. Sorry. So you can see, just by having the same instruments, or the same MIDI just being played multiple times, all of a sudden the sound is just so much greater, so much thicker. So let's look up also here at the brass. So you can see like it's like pretty prominent here in the brass. These are playing the exact same thing. These are playing the same thing. This is kind of like the line that comes at the end to bring us to the end of the song. I remember when I was writing it, I was like, okay, I like the kind of like the melody, but it's just not thick enough. So I literally just took it and just doubled it. So let's listen to these on their own. Okay, cool. So you can hear there's a lot going on in terms of there's the chords and there's this kind of like really low note from the mega horns in the horde. And then we've got this building line from the trailer brass and the Nucleus 6. So again, let's just remove a couple instruments and we'll hear how much of a difference it can make. Let's add them back in. So you can hear it kind of lost its bite by removing a lot of the instruments. So this is a great way when you're doing your chords, you can have the multiple instruments playing the same thing or at least overlapping. So if I pull up these three instruments here, actually we'll pull in the brass ensemble as well. It looks a little chaotic, but look how much overlap there is between the notes. Some, it depends on the octave that it's playing in, but some things are literally just playing the same thing, like our trailer brass here, just 2 instances of the same MIDI. Then you throw in the trailer brass. You can see all of a sudden we've added in that low end, and then the mega horns aren't separate. They're doubling up, but they're just playing in different octaves. So what is the lesson here? So we can take multiple instruments, and even if they're playing the exact same thing, it just makes our track sound so much bigger and thicker. So if you're finding yourself being like, my melody sounds good, my percussion line is good, but it just feels like it's thin. It doesn't feel like as big as the songs that I hear on the internet, on like at a movie or whatever. It might be because you just haven't doubled your instruments. So just try adding, take your trailer brass, double it, use it on it, take the French horns and apply it to another French horn that you've got. Maybe you've got your trailer brass and you've got Metropolis Arc. Put them both in and see how they mix together. You might have to do a little bit of mixing. Maybe you need to change the reverb, you need to do something, but put them in 2 different tracks and all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, the French horn is really popping through right now. You might be thinking, Michael, I don't have the money for all these instruments and all these different contact instruments that I've got up here. That's okay. Take the same one and just double it twice. Like take trailer brass here, hit double or duplicate, pull it down. Maybe you need to put the volume down. Maybe you could go into the, you could use your EQ a little bit different. Maybe you could add a distortion. Just double it. Double it. Eventually you can save up, maybe get another instrument, but try to mix it slightly different. But just by doubling it, all of a sudden it'll just sound so much bigger. So take your instruments, mess around with them, especially with your chords too. It's like just throw a bunch of notes at it. That sounds silly, but like double it up, grab them, make them all play the same thing over and over again. And all of a sudden you just be like, wow, it sounds a lot thicker, and get that wall of sound that we were kind of talking about. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, have a great day and happy writing, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.